Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How are we doing, everyone? I'm Spencer Lodge from Make It Happen, and I've got a very special guest with me this afternoon, Leena Parwani. Now, some of you may not know her, okay, and some of you may, but she's an extremely talented entrepreneur that's got a really interesting story to tell. I met Leena recently. She's one of the top 100 most influential people here in Dubai, and to be one of those means you must be doing something right. So welcome to the show, Leena.
Hi everybody, and thank you so much for giving me such a humble lines here. I'm like really trying to think, is it me?
So tell everybody, okay, a little bit about yourself. I'm going to throw questions at you today, and maybe I'll ask you questions that make you feel uncomfortable, but hey, if you guys out there have got questions too, you know what to do. Just send them in here and I'll make sure that I can get those answered for you.
I will try as my best to give you honest answers here.
Perfect. Okay, so let's go from the beginning. Okay,
Sure.
So you're from India.
Absolutely, yes.
You've been in Dubai for how long?
I've been in Dubai from last 17 years, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is home.
This is almost home, yeah. Can say
Okay.
that, definitely.
You're a successful entrepreneur.
Well, I don't know, successful you call it. Everybody has a different definition to it.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm still a beginner, long way to go.
There's the modesty coming out, in typical, like every entrepreneur. So you're a successful entrepreneur in my mind, okay? You have a family,
Yep.
son and a daughter.
I have got two kids. My daughter is 17 and my son is 9. He's creative, he's amazing, and I love talking to him.
Okay, so entrepreneur, run your own business, family, 2 kids.
Yes.
Okay, you must have faced some challenges along the way.
Well, I think every entrepreneur does that, right? Because I personally had experienced the way you go through it, the kind of hard time you see it, and you become stronger, you learn a lot of things, and then you reach where you want to, right? And I still, everyday basis, when we face challenge, I still do that, of course. So I feel, okay, fine. So at least I'm done with it now. So this is the same thing, not going to come again. So I'm on to the next step, next problem, okay, come over. So.
Now, did you think that there was something in your childhood? Was it nurture or nature? What was it that made you into becoming an entrepreneur? Do you think it's something that we're born with, or do you think it's something that you learn?
I think I wouldn't say that you're born with it. It's something which you can build into it. It's all how you live your life. You know, my childhood was I'm born in a small town in India.
Tell everybody where, so we can give them
It's
perspective.
the place called Bhilwara. It is very near to Jaipur and Delhi from in India, people who know Delhi. So close to Delhi, there's Jaipur, and I'm from there, a place called Bhilwara. It's a pretty small town. Now it has grown a bit more, but that was the thing, very small town, and we were like 5, yes, still 5, of course. So, and I was the second number in my family, my kids, like my siblings, second kids. So, you know, and my dad was like government servant. So he was working
Hold
for
on a second, let me just get this right. You're one of 5.
Yeah, we were 5 kids.
And you were the second in the
I
row
was
of
the
5.
second on the row,
And
yeah.
your dad worked for the government.
Absolutely, yeah.
Interesting.
And see, so I always seen a very challenging. Everything we used to share in one room. We used to live like 7 people in a room, and I always used to think, no, this is not the life which I would ever want to. I want to create another life. So it was a dream for me from the childhood. No, I want to go away and create a better life for me.
How old were you when that came into your mind?
I think that thought came into my mind. I was literally in my childhood, though I enjoyed my childhood, but even though giving a better life to my kids, see in those days when we were 5, my dad was struggling to make sure that we have a good life, or we at least go through a good education. I studied in the government school there in the beginning. So I was always thinking, no, that's not what I would want for my kids. You know, I would want to give them a much better life. So I think that is the fire, or that is the cause you have it in you. That was the thing which I don't want it in me. I want to change my life. I will not have it same for my kids.
Yeah. And did you, when you have that though, that feeling, lots of people I talk to
Yeah,
always want something better.
yeah,
Where you are right now,
yeah.
and we'll go back to your story in a second, where you are right now, you still want something better.
Yeah.
Does that mean that maybe in your DNA or in your character that you're never satisfied anyway?
See, I'm satisfied in a way what God has given me so far. If I look back myself 25 years back, and if I look myself now, I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed that I have reached so far here. It's all my parents' blessing or the support of everybody. I feel blessed. But if I become totally satisfied, then there's no growth. There's no improvement in you. So you see people are still earning, right?
Yeah.
You're still doing something which you like to do, right?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I do something meaningful in my life too.
Uh-huh.
So
that's where it comes from.
As I said, this is there from many years and I still want to go ahead further. I have done good in my business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would like to do something more meaningful for the community. And I keep getting the reasons, by the way, for that, you know. My daughter is special needs. She's 17, and that connects me with the special need kids area a lot.
Okay, well, let's just talk about that for a second. Your daughter has Down syndrome?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of a community have you been exposed to, and how has that touched you to want to make a difference in that environment?
I'll tell you, when she was born, I was very young. I was just 21 when she was born. That time I didn't even know what is the meaning of Down syndrome. So I had to literally go through a study and ask doctor again and again, what do you mean by Down syndrome? What do you mean by it? How it's going to impact my child, right? And I have seen a lot of parents, young parents, still they don't know all these things, right? So I've gone through that stage, and within the third day of my daughter's birth, I knew that she's Down syndrome. My husband still did not feel anything, what is Down syndrome like. He was still happy, enjoying everything. But I kind of started crying that she's not a normal child. So why God has given me this thing, how I'm going to survive like that, and how I'm going to take care of her. So initially I was really scared. First few months I was totally scared and shattered, or no, this is no, because I keep studying about that. I said, no, this is really dangerous. This is tough to handle. How can I handle this? You know, I'm too young to handle this kind of child. But then I didn't stop. I would say I didn't like keep crying for it. I had to move next, right? What next? How can I do things better for her? Mm-hmm. So we started our trainings very early stage when she was just 5 months, and I started taking her for trainings, and then myself for training. How do I train her, right? And then she went through a large operation for heart surgery. She was only 5 months, and I alone stayed in the hospital for 28 days for her operation. So a lot of time I have seen that, but then it took me really time to feel that or realize it, this is it, and accept it and move ahead. So initial years were really tough, even when my own family would not accept her in a way. Everybody's normal, right? Everybody's child is normal. So if I go back home, when I used to go back home in India, I do still remember, you know, that's a very soft point. I don't know, but I'm sharing it here, that my mother also didn't give her that kind of love, that she's a special need child, you know, and I used to cry seeing that my other cousins, my cousins' kids, or my sister's kids are like, they're playing fine, they're all okay. Is that my daughter, she can't do what other can do. And then she's given a very sympathetic view or kind of feel. I felt so bad about that, and I cried that day a lot. I came back very quickly from that trip. Then I realized, how can I make myself strong, because this is going to be coming every time. This is the fact. I have to accept it. She is Down syndrome, she is Down syndrome. So I have to make myself strong first to make my daughter, you know, give her some stand somewhere, right? A mother can stand first, then she can give her place. So I'd say, yeah, it took me a couple of years.
Upon experiencing that, did it give you more drive and more gusto to want to provide better? It's almost like it motivated you even more than you were already motivated to want to do or be more successful, or create more security maybe for your daughter?
I would say that yes, because when things pinch you very hard, you know, that's where you take a stand. Mm-hmm. That, okay, I've seen enough. It's been enough for my daughter has been neglected. She's been rejected in many places. But then when I stood, I said, no, that's it. I know my daughter is this, and I'm actually blessed she is with me. Because of her, I push myself so hard to do things much better and do things even more. I took a break of my work for 5 years when she was born. But when I started, my reason was only she. That I want her to go for a nice training center. So how can I do that? It's very expensive. I want to do it, so let me start work. So my husband never supported me on my work. I said, you support or not, but I want to give her a better picture, a better life. You know, she can't be sitting like this. So yes, against my family, I started working, pushed myself so hard. do cooking and everything, and leave her to babysit and go work, come back, look after her, give her training in the night again, then you cook, and every day, next day, so your days really, you're working in 24 hours, you're working for 48 hours, literally. But I enjoy those days. The more hard time I have ever got in my life, I've always become a better person, much stronger person from that situation. And I would say a lot of people, a lot of audience would agree with this thing. They can personally relate to their life. If they've seen much more tougher time, they become more stronger.
Well, isn't that funny? Because most successful entrepreneurs have got a kind of, it may not be a rags to riches story, but they've experienced something really tough in their life. And it's created an ignition of something to say either no more, okay, or I deserve more and I'm not going to waste my life.
I think when they take a decision in their life, that's it. That's it, no more this. So it's going to be changed, right? So this is the stand, they take it. And I would say that is the time, because of your tough time, you get a burning desire in you that I want it. I want it so badly. When you need things so badly, it comes to you. And you really work so hard to get that thing, right? So I would say that yes, every single step of mine, every single thought of mine has come to me because I was working towards it. And I really wanted it so badly. Everything. What I have.
Now let's talk about work for a minute then.
Yes.
So we can see some motivators from your work. You've had this childhood, you've won a big family, you've moved across from India over here, you've had a baby at a young age, okay, she's had learning difficulties with Down syndrome, so you've had all those challenges, and now it's motivated you and projected you forward, and then you set a business up. That company was called what?
Company, well, the name came up, its name is I Care. Starts with I Care because I think being a women are more empathetic when they do business. You know? They care about everything. So my business, which is insurance, we are into insurance. When I say somebody asks me what you do, I say actually I help people making them more richer. So what do you mean by richer? So like, if something happened to your family, in the key person, we bring the cash to your table. And in the reality, I've seen sometime the family was really struggling very hard in financial, and the key person died, and the cash came over on table, which was much better than the family was actually living life before. You know, so they go through. All financial struggles are taken care of. The family is well-to-do now.
Yeah.
So my business name is I Care. I really care for people, and because my daughter taught me to care, and I started caring for her, and I wanted to give that feeling to every single client of mine. You know.
Really? Is that honestly how you felt? You felt that after that experience you had with your daughter that you wanted people to feel that kind of support in that area? Was that a strong motivator for you?
For me, definitely. That's how I came up with the name of I Care. You know, in this country when we are all expats, right? You do business with a lot of people, right, who probably have a lot of old relationship with you, and you keep going for many years. But do you think they really care about you?
Yeah. You're right.
So they're actually doing business is one thing and feeling of caring one thing. Here everybody's lonely. I was lonely at a time, having so many relatives here, friends here, but I felt lonely at one point. And I felt, why not I create a company? It's just the name of the company, but culture of care. That we want to care for a client, we want to care and make them feel they're part of my family. So when we welcome any client at I Care, we call it Welcome to I Care Family. So, and we do events once in a year, which is just making them feel a care part of it, right? It's a family event. We don't do business at that. We don't talk business at the event, right? We want to do just make them feel good and feel being cared. Assume you're my client, okay, and you are into X business, probably, let's say you are a contractor, or okay, and you make buildings. And you probably would get benefited if I bring architect to you, right? I do have a client architect as well. So what if I connect both of them together? It's a great networking for them.
Yes.
And I don't have a personal benefit in that. It's just because I feel that when you talk to me very casually, you know, we are looking for this person, suddenly we came across and this happened. So, okay, why not? I have a client. Why don't you speak to them, you know? So that happened. There are a few more incidents which I can literally share here. A client of mine looking for somebody in selling oil in Iran. I said, I don't have clients in Iran, but I do have clients in Turkey. I do have clients in Kenya. Do you want to get connected there? Probably they can help you out with that. So connection without any personal benefit. You just join them, connect them, make them feel they're part of my family, you know. If a successful person or a successful entrepreneur like me, I say, when you're successful, when you are, anybody, when my client give me a call, tell me all of the stories. Not only the financial stories,
Well,
right?
that's great, isn't it?
They don't tell me, okay, this is my package now, this is happening, and let me buy more insurance. No, they talk to me about their future plan. They talk to me about a daughter, about son, you know, and mother back in India, sitting somewhere, and something happening there. Personal matters they share with me. So that's why I feel like that's what I've earned. That's what I've earned.
Yeah.
Those relationships. I'm no more lonely.
That's beautiful. How do you balance and juggle running a successful business with being a full-time mum as well? How do you manage your time? Do you say to yourself, these are my hours for this, these are my hours for that? Do you have to kind of juggle it a bit? Do you find it stressful? Because there's going to be lots of people out there that are female entrepreneurs that maybe are not entrepreneurs yet, and they've got a family and they're thinking, how do I get started? How do I find the time? How do you do it? And there must be a catch. Oh, you must have 2 nannies sitting at the house doing everything for you or something. So for those types of people out there that think, I just don't have the time to become creative and successful, what do you do and what do you say to those types of people?
I have a lot to say about this topic, trust me, really. Firstly, when you want to do, you just do it. Okay, then you have to ignore all the excuses around. Yes, you see, I have a problem, I have a kid at home, how do I take care of this? But trust me, even though when I was in a job for a number of years, you know, when I was pretty comfortable withdrawing good salary, being honored, nicely everybody come to me, I have a power in the company, so I enjoyed that position. But when I moved totally from that position to coming into totally insurance and sales and all this thing, and look around, totally new world for me, right? And I'm telling you, I have a friend who has actually advised me when I was thinking so much. It took like 6 months to decide whether I should do this or not. Then he told me, Lena, if you want to jump in the pool, you will jump and you will learn swimming. So, but you're standing around the corner of the pool and you say, I want to learn swimming, I really want to learn swimming one day. That day will never come. So you better jump in the pool and you will learn swimming. So I think that was a jump which I've taken. I said, okay, let's jump it in the pool, take a risk, and I'll definitely learn. And I've learned this. And when it comes to time juggling, yes, you struggle in the beginning, but every entrepreneur, they need some guidance from somebody because they are again lonely because there's nobody to guide them, right? Unless they have a great friend. For me, throughout the period, I have lots of good clients. They become my mentors. My clients becoming my mentor, they're like huge companies they're running, so they keep advising me. And I would also agree that I've been follower of a strategic coach, and that's where I also learn how to manage your time good. And make sure you give enough time to your family. So I get a guilt if I don't give a time to my family enough. So yes, I follow my free days, my work days. When it's free days, that means totally free day for my kids, and I don't want to touch many things. If it's a Friday, totally dedicated to my kids. I'm doing nothing personal on my mobile or on myself or even touching my laptop, you know. It's for them. It's for them. And everyday basis, of course, I make sure I give them a decent time. Even if it's 1 hour or 1.5 hours, 2 hours, it has to be directly quality hour with them. So yes, I do give them, we do, every quarterly we go to stay hotel, and that's where I'm totally with them, surrender to them. Do anything with me, whatever you want to. So yes, so they are still connected, they're still touchy about everything. I talk to them. You have to also talk to your kids, otherwise you will not be relating your business and then because you may run out your topics even with your kids. They keep talking everything, you get bored. Oh, yeah. They are looking in the iPad, they're looking at you, they're looking in the iPad, you are in your iPad or computer, you will not be able to connect. So when I speak to my son every day still, make sure that we speak every day, and that's 30 minutes updates from me and him. And my daughter become part of it, that we update everybody what happened. Every single thing he update. Sometimes I really get yawned that I'm really lazy that day, had a tough day, but I make sure I listen to him.
Okay.
So yes, you need to manage, and that's your happiness for what I'm doing, everything for my kids, right? So I have to make them part of my journey. They're part of my journey.
So what challenges or issues do you think women that are successful in business face when they start to perform or achieve, maybe financially or from a career ladder perspective, better than their husbands?
Financially, yes, that is there. Financially, you have the problems. But I think there are many businesses today's date, where...
But hold on, is that an ego issue? Is that a man's ego? That's his problem? If his wife is more successful, he has to respect and admire that? Or do you think that, I mean, from the culture that you come from, which is slightly different to mine, do you think it's now...
And in all 15 years also, I always thought when I'll be separated from him. So that's for me another success. I would say that, okay, 15 years done for me, so those tough years gone. And that also, I still give a lot of credit to my husband, ex-husband, that because of you, because of you, I'm doing even much more.
So you did stuff in spite of him?
Yes.
Would that be true?
I would say that, yes. Yeah.
So instead of being, obviously inspired by your daughter's situation and wanting to be successful, there was also another driver in there, and that was, in spite of you, I will prove you wrong, or I will prove what I can do.
Yeah, I think when ladies get into this thing, and maybe initially there was a kick, but then that did not remain as a kick, because then you drove and then you got a lot of love from people, and you got a lot of support from people. You can see you're doing something good for a community. It gives you a sense of satisfaction, right? How much in my husband, of course, I had not a very great, healthy marriage life. So, but he was another drive for me. So, yes, no, this is not going to be me always, one day is mine. There will be a day which will be only mine. So, I still, as I said, I give him a credit because of your thing, because you tortured me, because you told me I cannot do it, and I've done it, so I feel satisfied on that front.
What does Tony Robbins say? The greatest revenge is massive success.
Yes.
It's an interesting point, isn't it, when we think like that?
Yeah.
Okay, looking at your business as it stands today, what's your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What could you become?
I think I'm at the very beginning stage, in my career, in my company.
You keep saying that, but how did you get on the top 100 list as the beginning? You've done really great things. Come on, stop being so modest. Okay, you might be in the early years. Was it 3 years old? That last
4 years.
4 years, the last company.
Yeah.
Lots of people that would say that's not the beginning stage. But where would you like to take that business, and what could you, with your future plans, what could you achieve? What's possible?
I still feel a lot of gap. The purpose I started was to create awareness in this market for somebody who cared for you. So what is insurance? Our industry is basically very badly labeled in a way of mis-selling products, right?
Right.
So people, when they listen about, or they even hear a call from an insurance person, they don't even want to listen anything more. For them itself is like a cold call. Okay, no insurance, I have enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk insurance, right? Just know before that because a lot of people have been missold, and I still hear those stories from people. I was meeting another client of mine day before yesterday. He told me, no, we don't want to buy this, but we want to only look into X area. Medical insurance I wanted because it's compulsory, but I don't want anything else, protection and all that thing. You know what? My cousin had this policy and he was canceling the policy 10 years down the line. He had big losses in that. And these all policies are bullshit, that I don't want to buy all this thing. I said, okay, let me know what was it. And when we started the discussion and explained him, this is the thing, maybe, and many cases, client doesn't even understand what they're buying and they buy it. And when it comes to a claim, they don't know how to file the claim. They have nobody to guide them. They go straight directly to the insurance company and they have never read about the terms and conditions. Obviously, nobody reads those conditions. But that's the job of your agent or your consultant, your advisor who feel for you. Make sure they explain you everything. Exclusions are there. You don't know about exclusions. and you commit for a certain period to pay for it. If you don't remain in that period, you're going to be having losses for sure.
Okay, understood. If you were going to advise a young entrepreneur that had a business idea,
Yeah.
they had a startup concept, maybe they're in network marketing, maybe they are going to become a direct salesperson, or they've got a business idea and they're going to start up in business, and you had to give them 3 tips with that startup business of things that are really essential for them to be successful.
Okay, very, very important that firstly, they should, even though any startup, they should never oversell themselves and make sure the expenses are taken care of very well. They are not go overboard, because I see a lot of startups, they suddenly start spending a lot on marketing. They can use smarter ways for marketing. You have social media, you have where you don't need to spend more. But if you start spending a lot suddenly on the startup business, it's not going to be healthy for you. Do a lot of barter marketing.
Barter marketing.
Yeah, that's what I did in my initial years, and I still do that, by the way.
Do you think that comes from your culture, though, and your nationality? Because that's a term that I don't hear very often.
No, my coach is from UK, by the way. So I didn't actually. This idea wasn't from there, but.
Well, we don't barter market in the UK, but it's a great term, and it makes sense, doesn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
It's a great term.
Yeah.
You do something for me, I do something for you. Just talk about it. So, and this is authenticated. It works well. So we did that part. And even though a lot of places where we were shown as a sponsor, or many places, I never sponsored those actually. But I did got them big sponsors to sponsor the event, right?
Okay.
So in exchange, I got my place too.
Yeah.
Right, so
barter marketing.
Barter marketing is one thing. So, and make sure you
don't spend too much money.
Don't spend too much, and be as honest as possible to your people. Don't overcome it to your clients, because you're going to lose them if you overcome it and you don't serve them.
Okay, that's 3 things. Next question: what's the difference between a leader and a manager?
I've never been a manager. And I've never hired a manager too, so I don't know if that's a difference you want me to bring it out. But yes, leader is somebody who leads with the team, because without a team you cannot grow. You put them in the front. And leader and manager is different. Manager usually give the blame to the staff, right? Because he's managing, right? So his job is to blame to self why you didn't do this. But the leader take the accountability that, okay, that has happened because of us. Because my leadership is not good enough, right? I still have my team sometimes making mistakes, so it's my mistake. It's not their mistake. It's my mistake if they have made any mistakes. So to grow with that feeling that I need to make them learn faster. They learn in a way. And that's what I think leader wants to do. Leader does it that way. That's how you can retain your people, or you can train anybody to be like you, I have got sales assistant who join me, and they want to stay only with me. So they still take me for some meetings. And so when there is a mistake, always be accountable for it, be responsible for it. Put your team behind you in that stage, right? When good comes, then put your team in the front. When the bad comes, put yourself in the front. That's what the leader does. A good leader does it.
Makes sense. Now, if people want to get hold of you, they want to talk to you about your services and your products, how would they go about doing it? Do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website called iCareInsure.com.
So that's ICARE, yeah?
Yes, ICAREINSURE.com. Okay. iCareInsure.com, where they can see my profile in there. They can get in touch with us from there. They can just send us a message or call. It comes directly to me, by the way. So I didn't assign this job yet to somebody else. I want to make sure who will want to touch base with us. I make sure that we make the call and I know the person. Right?
What do you like with social media? How do you personally? I don't necessarily mean as a business. Are you one of these people that's always looking at your Facebook and your Snapchats and stuff, or are you one of these people that kind of parks that and leaves that to somebody else?
Well, I would love to park to somebody else, probably because I'm focusing on business expansion a lot, and I'm these days also working like 48 hours job in 24 hours. So I want to leverage my time and give it to somebody else who's good at it.
Yeah.
Give it to a person and that can be taken care, and you continue doing what you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to join hand with expert in different industries, right? So social media is another great platform, but again has to be taken care of very carefully with experts.
I agree. Lena, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's been lovely to get an insight of your situation, your past and your journey. It really has been interesting for me to see someone with such spirit and some drive, okay, and so much ambition. God only knows where you're going to be going in the future, but it has been really great to have you on the show, so thank you very much indeed.
It's completely my pleasure to be here, completely feeling honored to be here and share my story out. I'm sure it can help somebody who's listening, because I feel that when I did it, that anybody else can do it, right? If I can do without having all those things and no financial strength with me, then I'm sure you guys can do it.
As you can see, this is not just me that thinks like this. You've watched many videos that I've produced over the course of the last year or so where I talk about you being able to achieve anything you set your mind to. It's absolutely essential you take that very seriously. By interviewing the people I interview, we give living, breathing examples of mind over matter and people that take excuses, chew them up, spit them out and throw them in the bin. You really can achieve whatever you want to achieve if you just put your mind to it. Create a plan, get committed. No matter what your situation, no matter how tough it's been for you, things are possible. You need to start believing in yourself and you can make it happen. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch up again with you very soon.